Chapter 5 Morphology of Flowering Plants. The white rings in the structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us, even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology. They are all characterized by presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits. In chapters 2 and 3, we talked about classification of plants based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant, or for that matter any living organism, we need to know standard technical terms and standard definitions. We also need to know about the possible variations in different parts found as adaptations of the plants to their environment. Example, adaptations to various habitats for protection, climbing, storage, etc. If you pull out any weed, you will see that all of them have roots, stems, and leaves. They may be bearing flowers and fruits. The underground part of flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground forms the shoot system. 5.1 The root. In majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of radicle leads to the formation of primary root which grows inside the soil. It bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. roots. The primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system as seen in the mustard plant. Figure 5.2a. By figure 5.2 different types of roots: A. Taproot. B. Fibrous roots, laterals, main root, fibrous roots. C. Adventitious roots. In monocotyledonous plants, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system as seen in the wheat plant. Figure 5.2b. Fibrous roots. In some plants like grass, monstera and banyan tree, roots arise from parts of the plant other than the radicle and are called adventitious roots. Figure 5.2 c. Adventitious roots. The main functions of the root system are absorption of water and minerals from the soil, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts story, reserve food material, and synthesis of plant growth regulators. Figure 5.1 Parts of a flowering plant: flower, fruit, stem, leaf, node, internode, bud. This is shoot system. Primary root, secondary root. This is included in root system. 5.1.1 Regions of root. The root is covered by at the apex by a thimble-like structure called the root cap. Figure 5.3. The regions of the root tip: region of maturation, root hair, region of elongation, region of meristematic activity, root cap. It protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. A few millimeters above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. The cells of this region are very small, thin-walled and with dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement and are responsible for the growth of the root in length. This region is called the region of elongation. The cells of the elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. Hence, this zone proximal to region of elongation is called the region of maturation. From this region, some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate thread-like structures called root hairs. These root hairs absorb water and minerals from soil. 5.2 The stem. What are the features that distinguish a stem from a root? The stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears nodes and internodes. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while internodes are the portion between the two nodes. The stem bears buds, which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young and later form often become woody and dark brown. The main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers, and fruits. It conducts water, minerals, and photosynthesis. Some stems perform the function of storage of food, support, protection, and of vegetative propagation. 5.3 The leaf. The leaf is lateral, generally flattened structure borne on the stem. It develops at the node and bears a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develops into a branch. Leaves originate from two typical meristems and are arranged in equipetal order. They are the most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis. A typical leaf consists of three main parts: leaf, base, petiole, and lamina. Figure 5.4a. Structure of leaf. Parts of leaf: lamina, stipule, petiole, leaf base, axillary bud. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures called stipules. In monocotyledons, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous plants, the leaf base may become swollen, which is called the pulvinus. The petiole help hold the blade to light. Long, thin flexible petioles allow leaf blades to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf blade is the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. There is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as the midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and act as channels of transport for water, minerals, and food materials. The shape, margin, apex, surface, and extent of insertion of lamina varies in different leaves. 5.3.1 Venation. The arrangement of veins and the veinlets in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. When the veinlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. Figure 5.4b. Reticulate venation. When the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina, the venation is termed as parallel. Figure 5.4c. Parallel venation. Leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possesses reticulate venation, while parallel venation is the characteristic of most monocotyledonous. 5.3.2 Types of leaves. A leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or when incised. The incisions do not touch the midrib. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflets of the compound leaf. The compound leaves may be of two types. Figure 5.5. Compound leaves: A. Pinnately compound leaf, neem, rachis. B. Palmately compound leaf, silk cotton. In a pinnately compound leaf, a number of leaflets are present on a common axis, the rachis, which represents the midrib as or midrib of the leaf as in neem. In palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached at a common point, that is, at the tip of petiole as in silk cotton. 5.3.3 Phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. This is usually of three types: alternate, opposite, and whole. In alternate type of phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner as in China rose, mustard, sunflower plants. Figure 5.6 Different types of phyllotaxy: A. Alternate, China rose. B. Opposite, guava. C. Whole, Astonia. In opposite type, a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other as in Calotropis and guava plants. If more than two leaves arise at a node and form a whole, it is called whole, as in Astonia. 5.4 The inflorescence. A flower is a modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. Internode do not elongate at the axis, gets condensed. The apex produces different kinds of floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. When a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is always solitary. The arrangement of flowers on the floral axis is termed as inflorescence, depending on whether the apex gets developed into a flower or continues to grow. Two major types of inflorescence are defined, racemose and cymose. In racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow. The flowers are borne laterally in an equipetal succession. Figure 5.7 racemose inflorescence. In cymose type of inflorescence, the main axis terminates in a flower, hence is limited into the flowers are borne in basipetal order. 5.5 The flower. The flower is the reproductive unit in the angiosperms. It is meant for sexual reproduction. A typical flower has four different kinds of holes arranged successively on the southern end of the stalk or pedicel called thalamus or receptacle. These are calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are accessory organs, while androecium and gynoecium are reproductive organs. In some flowers, like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct and are termed as perianth. When a flower has both androecium and gynoecium, it is bisexual. A flower having either only stamens or only carpels is unisexual in symmetry. The flower may be actinomorphic radial symmetry or zygomorphic bilateral symmetry. When a flower can be divided into two equal radial halves in any radial plane passing through the center, it is said to be actinomorphic. Example mustard, datura, chili. When it can be divided into two similar halves only in one particular vertical plane, it is zygomorphic. Example pea, gulmohar, bee, cassia. A flower is asymmetric irregular if it cannot be divided into two similar halves by any vertical plane passing through the center, as in canna. A flower may be trimerous, tetramerous, or pentamerous when the floral appendages are in multiple of 3, 4, or 5, respectively. Flowers with bracts, reduced leaf, found at the base of pedicel are called bracteate, and those without bracts ebracteate. Figure 5.9 Position of floral parts on thalamus. A. Hypogynous. B and C. Perigynous. C. D. Epigynous. Based on the position of calyx, corolla, and androecium in respect of the ovary on thalamus, the flowers are described as hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. In the hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies the highest position while the other parts are situated below it. The ovary in such flowers is said to be superior. Example mustard, China rose, and brinjal. If gynoecium is situated in the center and other parts of the flowers are located on the rim of the thalamus almost at the same level, it is called perigynous. The ovary here is said to be half inferior. Example plum, rose, peach. In epigynous flowers, the margin of thalamus goes upward, enclosing the ovary completely and getting fused with it. The other parts of flowers arise above the ovary, hence the ovary is said to be inferior, as in flowers of guava and cucumber and the ray florets of sunflower. 5.5.5.1 Parts of a flower. Each flower normally has four floral holes visually: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. 5.5.1.1 Calyx. The calyx is the outermost hole of the flower, and the members are called sepals. Generally, sepals are green, leaf-like, and protect the flower and the bud stage. The calyx may be gamosepalous, sepals united, or polysepals, sepals free. 5.5.1.2 Corolla. Corolla is composed of petals. Petals are usually brightly colored to attract insects for pollination. Like calyx, corolla may also be gamopetalous, petals united, or polypetalous, petals free. The shape and color of corolla vary greatly in plants. Corolla may be tubular, bell-shaped, funnel-shaped, or wheel-shaped. Estivation: the mode of arrangement of sepals or petals in floral bud with respect to other members of the same whole is known as estivation. The main types of estivation are velvet, twisted, imbricate. Figure 5.10 Parts of flower: androecium, gynoecium, corolla, calyx, pedicel. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Figure 5.11 Types of estivation in corolla: valvate, B. twisted, C. imbricate, D. vexillary. When sepals or petals in a whole just touch one another at the margin without overlapping, as in Calocoppus, it is said to be valvate. If one margin of the appendage overlaps that of the next one, and so on, as in China rose, lady's finger, and cotton, it is called twisted. If the margins of sepals or petals overlap one another, but not in any particular direction, as in Cassia and Gulmohar, the estivation is called imbricate. In pea and bean flowers there are five petals. The largest standard overlaps the two lateral petals with wings, which in turn overlap the two smallest anterior petals (keel). This type of estivation is known as vexillary or papilionaceous. 5.5.1.3 Androecium. Androecium is composed of stamens. Each stamen, which represents the male reproductive organ, consists of a stalk or a filament and an anther. Each anther is usually bilobed and each lobe has two chambers, the pollen sacs. The pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. A sterile stamen is called staminode. Stamen of flower may be united with other members such as petals or among themselves. When stamens are attached to the petals, they are epipetalous as in Pinjab or epiphyllous when attached to perianth as in the flowers of lily. The stamens in a flower may either remain free polyandrous or may be united in varying degrees. The stamens may be united into one bunch or one bundle monoidelphous as in China rose, or two bundles diadelphous as in pea, or into more than two bundles polyadelphous as in citrus. There may be a variation in the length of filaments within a flower as in salvia and mustard. 5.5.1.4 Gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower and is made up of one or more carpels. A carpel consists of three parts, namely stigma, style, and ovary. Ovary is the enlarged basal part on which lies the elongated tube, the style. The style connects the ovary to the stigma. The stigma is usually at the tip of the style and is the receptive surface for pollen grains. Each ovary bears one or more ovules attached to a flattened, cushion-like placenta. When more than one carpel is present, they may be free, as in lotus and rose, and are called apocarpous. They are termed syncarpous when carpels are fused, as in mustard and tomato. After fertilization, the ovules develop into seeds and the ovary matures into a fruit. Placentation. The arrangement of ovules within the ovary is known as placentation. The placentation are of different types, namely marginal, axial, parietal, basal, central, and free central. Figure 5.12. Types of placentation: marginal, axial, parietal, free central, basal. In marginal placentation, the placenta forms a ridge along the ventral suture of the ovary and the ovules are bound on this ridge, forming two rows as in P. When the placenta is axial and the ovules are attached to it into a multilocular ovary, the placentation is said to be axial as in China rose, tomato, and lemon. In parietal placentation, the ovules develop on the inner wall of the ovary or on peripheral part. Ovary is one-chambered but it becomes two-chambered due to the formation of false septum. Example: mustard and agrimony. When the ovules are borne on the central axis and septa are present, as in dianthus and primrose, the placentation is called precentral. In basal placentation, the placenta develops at the base of ovary and a single ovule is attached to it, as in sunflower, marigold. 5.6 The fruit. The fruit is a characteristic feature of the flowering plants. It is a mature or ripened ovary developed after fertilization. If a fruit is formed without fertilization of the ovary, it is called a parthenocarpic fruit. Generally, the fruit consists of a wall or pericarp and seeds. The pericarp may be dry or fleshy. When pericarp is thick and fleshy, it is differentiated into outer epicarp, the middle mesocarp, and the inner endocarp. In mango and coconut, the fruit is known as drupe. Figure 5.13. They develop from monocarpellary superior ovaries and are one-seeded. In mango, the pericarp is well differentiated into an outer thin epicarp, a middle fleshy edible mesocarp, and an inner stony hard endocarp. In coconut, which is also a drupe, the mesocarp is fibrous. Figure 5.13 Parts of a fruit: A. Mango, epicarp, mesocarp, seed, endocarp. B. Coconut, endocarp, seed, mesocarp. 5.7 The seed. The ovules after fertilization develop into seeds. A seed is made up of a seed coat and an embryo. The seed is made up of a radicle, an embryonal axis, and one, as in wheat, maize, or two cotyledons, as in gram and pea. 5.7.1 Structure of a dicotyledon seed. The outermost covering of a seed is the seed coat. The seed coat has two layers, the outer testa and the inner tegment. The hilum is a scar on the seed coat through which the developing seeds were attached to the fruit. Above the hilum is a small pore called the micropyle. Within the seed coat is the embryo consisting of an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. The cotyledons are often fleshy and full of reserved food materials. At the two ends of the embryonal axis are present the radicle and the plumule. Figure 5.14 Structure of dicotyledonous seed. Seed coat, hilum, micropyle, cotyledon, plumule, radicle. In some seeds, such as castor, the endosperm formed as a result of double fertilization is a food storing tissue and called endospermic seeds. In plants such as bean, gram, and pea, the endosperm is not present in mature seeds, and such seeds are called non-endospermous. 5.7.2 Structure of monocotyledonous seed. Generally, monocotyledonous seeds are endospermic, but some, as in orchids, are non-endospermic. In the seeds of cereals such as maize, the seed coat is membranous and generally fused with the fruit wall. The endosperm is bulky and stores food. The outer covering of endosperm separates the embryo by a proteinaceous layer called aleurone layer. The embryo is small and situated in a groove at one end of the endosperm. It consists of one large and shield-shaped cotyledon known as scutellum and a short axis with a plumule and a radicle. The plumule and radicle are enclosed in sheaths which are coleoptile and coleorhiza respectively. Figure 5.5. 15. Structure of monocotyledonous seeds. Embryo, endosperm, seed coat and fruit wall, aleurone layer, endosperm, scutellum, coleoptile, plumule, radicle, coleorhiza. 5.8 Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. Various morphological features are used to describe a flowering plant. The description has to be brief, in a simple and scientific language, and presented in a proper sequence. The plant is described beginning with its habit, vegetative characters, root, stem, and leaves, and then floral characters, inflorescence, and flower plants. After describing various parts of plant, a floral diagram and a floral formula are presented. The floral formula is represented by some symbols. In the floral formula, BR stands for bracteate, K stands for calyx, C for corolla, P for perianth, A for androecium, and G for gynoecium. G bar for superior ovary and G upper bar for inferior ovary. For male, for female, for bisexual plants, for actinomorphic, and for zygomorphic nature of flower. Fusion is indicated by enclosing the figure with in bracket and addition by a line drawn above the symbols of the floral parts. A floral diagram provides information about the number of parts of a flower, their arrangement, and the relation they have with one another. Figure 5.16. The position of the mother axis with respect to the flower is represented by a dot on the top of the floral diagram. Calyx, corolla, and endoecium and gynoecium are drawn in successive holes, calyx being the outermost and gynoecium being in the center. Floral formula also shows cohesion and adhesion within parts of holes and between holes. The floral diagram and floral formula in figure 5.16 represent the mustard family Brassicaceae. Floral diagram with floral formula. Actinomorphic, bisexual, calyx 2 plus 2, corolla 4, endoecium 2 plus 4, superior ovary fused 2. 5.9 Solanaceae. It is a large family commonly called as the potato family. It is widely distributed in tropics, subtropics, and even temperate zones. Figure 5.17 Solanum nigrum Makoi plant. A. Flowering twig. B. Flower. C. Little section of flower. D. Stamens. E. Carpel. F. Floral diagram. Vegetative characters: plants mostly herbs, shrubs, and rarely small trees. Stem herbaceous, rarely woody, aerial, erect, cylindrical, branched, solid, or hollow, hairy or glabrous. Underground stem in potato, solanum, tuberous, leaves alternate, simple, rarely pinnately compound. Extistipulate, venation, reticulate. Floral characters: inflorescence, solitary, axillary, or cymose as in solanum. Flower bisexual, actinomorphic, calyx, sepals 5, united, persistent, valvate estivation, corolla, petals 5, united, valvate estivation, androecium, stamens 5, epipetalous, gynoecium, bicarpellary, obliquely placed, syncarpus, ovary superior, bilocular, placenta, solan with many ovules, exile, fruits, berry or capsule, seeds, many, endospermous. Floral formula: actinomorphic, bisexual, calyx 5, corolla, androecium, fused with corolla fused 5, endoecium 5, superior ovary fused. To economic importance: many plants belonging to this family are source of food: tomato, brinjal, potato, spice, chili, medicine, belladonna, ashwagandha, fumigatory, tobacco, ornamentals, petunia. Summary: flowering plants exhibit enormous variation in shape, size, structure, mode of nutrition, lifespan, habit, and habitat. They have well-developed root and shoot systems. Root system is either taproot or fibrous roots. Generally, dicotyledonous plants have taproots while monocotyledonous plants have fibrous roots. The roots in some plants gets modified for storage of food, mechanical support, and respiration. The shoot system is differentiated into stem, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The morphological features of stems, like the presence of nodes and internodes, multicellular hair, and positively phototropic nature, help to differentiate the stems from roots. Leaf is a lateral outgrowth of a stem developed exogenously at the node. These are green in color to perform the function of photosynthesis. Leaves exhibit marked variations in their shape, size, margin, apex, and extent of incisors of leaf blade lamina. The flower is a modified shoot meant for sexual reproduction. The flowers are arranged in different types of inflorescence. They exhibit enormous variation in structure, symmetry, position of ovary in relation to other parts, arrangement of petals, sepals, ovules, etc. After fertilization, the ovary is modified into fruits, ovules into seeds. Seeds either may be monocotyledonous or dicotyledonous. They vary in shape, size, and period of viability. The floral characteristics form the basis of classification and identification of flowering plants. This can be illustrated through semi-technical descriptions of families. Hence, a flowering plant is described in a definite sequence by using scientific terms. The floral features are represented in the summarized form as floral diagrams and floral formula.